Hey, welcome to the shop, everybody. Good to see some of you here. We got a few guys in the chat, and we are ready for a Christmas lotto. I'm excited. It has been a long time since I've done a lotto. So, as per usual, for those of you that are there, let me know if I'm coming in loud and clear. It looks like everything's working on my end, but I always like to make sure before I start running through things and no one's there to hear me and nothing works. Hopefully everybody's had a great weekend. We are a little over a week away from Christmas, so I wanted to do this lotto in time for me to get everything shipped out and hopefully to everyone that wins before Christmas. All right, Richard Bergeron, you got it. Let's get the party started. It sounds like we got things going. All clear. Thank you, Mr. Magoo. Mike, good to see you, man. All right, so here we are. These ones took a while. There's some special ones, and I hope that everybody's happy with what I put together. I actually got the ideas for these knives from my Facebook group. We did a little poll about a month ago and said, what would you like to see for the Christmas lotto? So let me show you what I came up with. So first one, the request was a regular Tachi, and let me see if I can adjust this so you aren't looking at the light. There we go. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, man down, man down. Okay, I tried, and it's still there. Good grief. We're gonna get this. Okay, so the first thing that people asked for was a regular Tachi with the vintage emerald green, red accents, and a copper semi blade. So that's what we've got here. This guy has a black titanium clip, blackened titanium hardware. Hopefully that can come across. It's dark out here outside, and so I don't have the regular daytime lighting. This one is a regular flipper, so you can see it. Regular flipper with the modern bolster lock inlay setup that I like to do, which is kind of fun. That was the #1 choice in that poll, and so that is why I came up with that one. Next up, the request was something with wood and something with stag, and one person actually recommended a Tengu with wood. So this was the Tengu that I came up with. I had this special little piece of koa, and I don't know, I mean, there we go, got a little focus going. This piece is pretty amazing. You can see the color variations on it. The chitoyance is amazing on both sides. You can see it's got that light, fade into dark. This is a bolster lock, so also has the lock bar insert in there. This steel is also something special. This is a new CPM prototype steel. It's in the MagnaCut family, and it's basically more wear resistant than MagnaCut. It's so new that they do not have a trademarked and protected name, so I can't even use it. I know what it is, but I can't say it. I actually just saw Laren just last night. He is the one that developed MagnaCut and also developed this steel. You can see this one also has the candy cane backspacer, which I think is pretty fun. So this steel is pretty special. I think I'm one of maybe a handful of people that have been able to use this. So still managed to get a hand rub, which was definitely a little more tricky than most steels because it's very wear resistant, I'll tell you that. Next up, somebody said, stag anything. So then that's when I came up with this guy. I don't have a lot of stag left, so this little mini hawk was, I found the right piece for it. It's a nice gnarly looking stag on both sides. It's got a shield. We've got the Damasteel blade. Floating backspacers you can kind of see, since it doesn't like to focus. There we go. And I managed to get those scales still nice and thin. So this one I was pretty happy with. And then last but not least, we go from the little to the big mama. I gotta back up for this guy. XHP Core Tachi JM. Has some mammoth ivory scales, which I mean, it basically looks like elephant ivory. I don't know if it's gonna let me get in close on there, but you can see how clean that mammoth is. Get my fingerprints on this. Zerk backspacer, Zerk hardware, Zerk bolsters. We've got a Westinghouse heavy weave black canvas. And then again with the floating backspacer. Doesn't like to focus on the knife. There we go. Floating backspacer. Also with the core. So there you have it. Those are the 4 knives that are up for grabs. Looks like we got a question. How do we go about entering? So Edgar, here's the way that I'm doing my lottos. I've done it for a little while, but it has been a while since I've done one. So what I'll do is I'll put notification on Instagram and Facebook letting you know that I have a lotto coming up. You need to be on the email list. I had a couple of people that were on the list, we verified, and they didn't get it for some reason. I would recommend if you did not see this and you think you're on the list, just sign up again. It's okay. And then if you get a duplicate later, it won't matter. But I think that sometimes things cycle through. You know, maybe you've unsubscribed. Who knows what's happening there. But then the links to my Google Docs will come through that email. You enter in those docs and just kind of follow the rules. And that puts you on this list, which you'll see over on the left side of the screen. So without any further ado, let's get to this drawing. So what I'll do, because we've done this, I've done this where it's per knife. You signed up for the knife that you want. I'm just going to draw a winner, one winner, and one alternate per knife. And I'll start with the most, let's say, most requested, the one that's got the most entries first. And then we'll just go in order through that. That way, if there happens to be a duplicate winner, which has happened before, I can go ahead and redraw it, and hopefully they're able to get, you know, the one that they want the most. Hopefully, anyway, because I know that people have entered for more than one. And yeah, some people, as you can see right here, have a lot of native numbers. I think Will's got a few. Yeah, Stan, good eye on that one. Good grief. We did have a lot of entries on this one, though. We got 288. So I will, and also I'm going to put in a little caveat. I don't think I put this in the wording of the entry forms, but the general rule that I have, and before I get started, if I mess up on a count or whatever, whoever I call as the winner, it is what it is. If you can't get any more random than that. I'm not doing anything on purpose. If I make a mistake, it is what it is. I've had situations in the past where someone's like, well, you know, you counted and it counted wrong or whatever. I don't know. I'm going to do the best I can. If there's a mistake, it's just a part of what it is. So the final winners that I call out at the end of this are the winners of these lottos, winners and alternates. So let's get started. I need to shrink this up here just a touch so that I can get to. So one thing that you'll notice, and I'll show you so that you can know, the first person is actually on number 2. So when I do this random number generator, I'm going to start with number 2 rather than number 1. So on this one, we'll go from 2 to 28. So down here, we will go to 2 and then 288. So let's generate our winner. 273, boy, Will, good grief. I think that one paid off well for you. Holy smokes. So I'm just going to put on there the number 1. And then let's generate a second. Oh my goodness. Will, it must be meant to be yours because it just did your number twice in a row. 288. Good grief, it is staying right down here at the bottom. So Derek, you will be my alternate in the instance that, if I could spell alternate. Oh my. Can you tell it's late on a Sunday? Okay, on to, so that first one was the Tachi. This one is the Mini Hawk, so the little stag Mini Hawk. We've got 219 here, so I'm going to refresh this page. So we can start over our randomness on random.org. Okay, there we go. Good grief. Okay, so 2 to 219. Let's make sure I get that right. All right, 145. And that would be Kyung Jimmy Lee. You are our number one. Let's generate our second place. 194. Goodness, we are staying more towards the bottom of these lists. 94. So Ryan Justice, you are my alternate. There we go. All right, next up will be the Tachi. So the green Tachi. This one we have 170. So again, I'm going to re-enter this. So 2 and 170. Let's see, we got some comments here I'm going to address. Let's see. So how does one go about getting 77 native numbers? So the way that to interrupt the drawing, so the way that you get native numbers is they're attached to a dog tag. I've sold these in years past, and for whatever reason, people decided in years past, not recent, not for a while, but in many years past, they decided to go ahead and sell those. And I made a rule that there was no limit to how many you could own. And I don't know, why people sold them or whatever, but some people have collected them up, and it just gives them a better chance. That's how they own them. They didn't. I only have sold them one at a time. When I've sold them, it's been one at a time, only to people that don't have one already. But what happened on the secondary happened on the secondary, and there's not much I can do about that. People decided they needed to make a little extra cash, so that's how we've got people owning like a billion native numbers. So anyway, okay, here we go. Back to it. Let's do the Tachi Lotto. All right, 78. We're hitting up at the top, a little bit closer to the top. That's better. Nippon Setya, you are our number one. And I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. I probably did. And then even higher up for our alternate is 46. Jake Montross, you are my alternate. Look, I can spell that time. It's amazing. Okay, last one. This one is the Tengu. We've got 158. So let's go. 2 and 158. 66 is our winner on that one, which would be Chris Schluter. And then let's do an alternate for that. 63, right there, close. Hank Bright. Okay, so what I'm going to do is do that. Get these in order so that I can ring them up. And we can go through all these winners. All right, so here's what we have for the Tachi JM. My winner on that one is Will Fryman. Congrats, man. And then Derek Hammond, you are my alternate on that one. For this is the Mini Hawk. Kyung Jimmy Lee, you've got number one. You got first choice on this one. Ryan Justice, you're the backup just in case. For the Tachi, the Emerald Green Tachi, Nippon Setya, you've got our first choice, and Jake Montross, you're the alternate. And then last but not least is the, I like to call it the Mele Kaliki Maka Tengu, this year. Chris Schluter, you've got your first choice, and then Hank Bryant, you were alternate. So congrats to those of you that were drawn. I will be reaching out to you if you feel so inclined to preemptively reach out on Facebook or Instagram. If that was your choice of communication, reach out to me if you're watching. If not, I will reach out to you in your specified, your requested contact method and get everything set up so that hopefully I can get that in the mail to you tomorrow. Give us a full week to get to you, and hopefully have them before Christmas, and you can enjoy the holiday with a new, fresh new knife. So thanks everyone, and boy, it has been quite a year. 2024 is almost in the books, and it has been quite the year for me. It started off with torn ACL on my daughter, and it just blew through my family like craziness. And I'm kind of glad to see 2024 come to an end. It's been a hard one, but a lot of things learned and a lot of experiences in life for sure. And I'm looking forward to next year. Watch for things coming up next. Through the Christmas break from now until New Year's, I will be working on not one but two prototypes. I'll give you a hint on one. One was on the list that was in the poll for my group, which is a mini Wicked Lanny's clip. I am working on that. And then there's also a new knife that I will be putting in the Heritage series. So those two prototypes, watch for those coming through by the 1st of January, along with maybe a few list people that I'll get taken care of. Now that all my projects are done, speaking of projects, hopefully some of you got your hands on one of those Dauntless from Tad. Those were gone in literally like 5 seconds. I think they were just gone. So I can't wait to see who's got those. Those were really fun. Those are my favorite Dauntless that I've done, or at least my take of a Dauntless that I've done so far. So all those big projects are done. Cool new things coming. And I hope you all have a wonderful holiday season and a Merry Christmas. And if I don't see you before then, a Happy New Year. And have a great week this week.